Hello, hello, boys and girls. How's everybody doing? Hopefully the stream is working. I forgot completely to do the overlay thing here. Let me just copy this. Go back here. And we'll paste this in. Hopefully nobody will arrive yet, so they won't see me messing around with this. And everything will be fine. Hopefully. And Rogue is here, I think. That just gives me a chance to test out, make sure it's working. Rogue, did that pop up on the screen? Yes, it did. How you doing, Rogue? Good to see ya. What we've got here, we've got some breaking news basically about PSVR 2. It's not a huge thing. It's in the title. I mean, it is kind of huge because any news is good news. And Mr. Chopped is here. How you doing, Chopped? Long time no see. I hope everyone's keeping well. Rogue, Chopped, I hope you're both very well. Let me just pop up what I want to talk about here. Boom. So this comes from Zuby Tech, who is a Twitter user, and he's covering this game and network services segment, which is, hold on, can I zoom in on this? My eyes ain't what they used to be. Whoops. Let me go back a step. I didn't want to click into that. Basically a presentation from Jim Ryan where he goes on and on about PlayStation stuff. So it is interesting if you're a PlayStation fan like me. So, you know, I'd recommend going into all this. But because we're on about PSVR 2, I don't want to go too much into all this stuff. Instead, I want to focus on what he said about PSVR 2. Now, it is just one slide, one image, and one point on that image because all the other stuff we already knew. But it is somewhat significant, I think, basically because of the wording. Here it is. So it was point 3, slide 3 apparently. Maybe point 3, topic 3, I don't know. PSVR 2, new levels of immersion. So let's pop this up. So they talk about the controller, which we know is going to have like great feedback, ergonomics, etc, etc. They talk about resolution and tracking. We know all this stuff as well. Very exciting, of course, but you know, nothing new. And then they talk about how it's just a single cord to connect. We already knew this too. But here's the good stuff down here. The bottom right point, they show a little picture of Horizon for an example, but 20 plus major, I can't highlight this because it's an image, but major first party and third party titles confirmed for PSVR 2 at launch. Now you might be thinking to yourself, you know, 20 titles at launch, is that a huge amount? But I think the key word is major. You know, I wouldn't include, you know, the smaller titles like, what did we got with PSVR? We got like Tumble and stuff like that. I wouldn't call that a major title, you know. So I think the fact that he's mentioning that is, you know, exciting. I mean, we've been talking and speculating for a long time about all these games that might come to PSVR 2, and they've had all this time. Probably the developer kits have been in their hands now for some time, where, you know, the likes of Half-Life Alyx or something like that could be ready to go. That would definitely constitute a major title. Fozzie Bear is here. How you doing, Mr. Fozzie Bear? Good to see you. Chop's having a rough month. All good though. I'm sorry to hear that you've had a rough month, and I'm sorry I said dough as dough. But I'm glad to hear you're all good. And Chairface, Pumpkins, what it do? Chairface, how you keeping? And of course, Jason Ewan. We all want to know how he's doing because it rhymes nicely with his surname. Doing good, Jason. I hope you're keeping well also. So yeah, this is just a little bit of a kind of like a breaking news type thing, because this, I'm not even sure exactly what this is. Is this just like a presentation for investors or something like this, where Zuby is getting this information from? I don't know, is it like a live stream? Is this I should be watching? Because I didn't really hear anything about it. But there's all these stats and information, and you can find out like interesting bits of information if you go through all this stuff. Like we have here, 20 plus major first party and third party titles for launch. What could they be? Could First Contact's next game be one of those? Could it possibly be ready for launch, even though Solaris only came out last year? You know, the mind races with possibilities. Jason Ewan, doing great, buddy. Hope you and everyone in the chat is also. Thank you very much for the kind words, Jason Ewan. A gentleman, and perhaps even a scholar, some might say. So yeah, I don't think there's, I mean, what is there to say other than big speculation? We could talk about some other bits and pieces of news as well, which I obviously haven't got to cover because I haven't been on the channel in ages, but I've had a chance tonight, including Fast Travel Games. All of a sudden I feel extra moist. Glad to hear it, Jason. Fast Travel Games have confirmed that they're working on PSVR 2 titles, plural, more than one. And Gamertag is actually working for them now. I can't remember what his exact title was. It was like something like marketing assistant or something along those lines. But he was the one who made up this image that they put up where they teased, PSVR 2 and that they were working on more than one title. What could they be? Could they be brand new titles? Are we talking about ports of existing games that they've already put out? Could be. Maybe one's a port, maybe one's a new one, maybe they're both new. I don't know. That's something to be excited about. And yeah, I mean, this is just a very quick video just to share this breaking news here, which is, I don't know how crazy it is. 20 plus major first party. I mean, it all depends. It all hinges on the word major. What does Jim Ryan think constitutes a major first party / third party title? And, first party, what could they be? If there is a Firewall sequel, that would fall under first party because they do own that IP, in case anyone was wondering. But then we're thinking about, them hybrid games, The Last of Us, probably not God of War, but what else is coming? Twisted Metal game that's in development, could that be hybrid? What else are they supposedly working on? Spider-Man 2, Wolverine, these games, could these possibly have VR aspects to them? I mean, obviously they wouldn't be ready for launch, assuming it comes out late this year or early next year. But yeah, a lot of potential here. Miguel Espinoza, Moistar activated. Miguel, it is always a pleasure to have you in the chat. Welcome. Mr. Chopped can't stick around, just wanted to stop in and smash that like. Thank you very much, Chopped. I appreciate it. The stream won't be on for too long anyway, I don't think. Daniel Dries saying, yo, how's it going, Daniel Dries? With his pants in debris, down his knees, around his knees, something like that. And, Germ, bringing up a good point. The Last of Us remake, the potential for that to have viewer support. And if that has viewer support, then what about Factions, the multiplayer game? Will that be part of The Last of Us remake? Will that be its own separate thing? I mean, there's lots of things to consider there, but if the Factions, I mean, if you just look at The Last of Us Part 2's gameplay, if you put that into like an open world, well, it's not even open world, but the rumors are that it might be something like DayZ, which would be like a big open map. Imagine something like DayZ with that kind of quality, and it would just be nuts. I don't think I'd play another game, at least not flat. But then if it had VR on top of that, then obviously I would never play another game. I don't think. The gameplay in that game is just so good. And it seems, Jeremy, you seem to be excited about that game, I've noticed, based on your tweeting and whatnot, or at least liking my tweets when I tweet about it. So maybe you're excited about it too, but I think you like those kind of games anyway. But yeah, is there anything else to say? I don't think so. At least not about this particular topic. And I didn't prepare any other topics. So unless you want to bring up something before I end the stream, which was a short one, but it's just kind of just breaking this headline here. Otherwise, that'll be it, lads and ladies, and I hope you stay nice and moist, and thanks for watching, and maybe consider hitting the like button and the subscribe button, because I'm going to be covering all PSVR 2 stuff as it comes, and I suspect it's going to come thick and fast. Hopefully starting next month. I feel like June has to be the month where we get something. Even if it's coming out next year, I think June is when they say it's coming out next year, if that's what the case is. I mean, how long can they keep stringing us along, Chairface thoughts on June showcase rumors. What I would say about like rumors and stuff is like, every single year, Chairface, you could go on Twitter every March or January or February, whenever, and you could say, I heard a rumor that PlayStation are going to have an event in June or a showcase or something, and you'd be right like 90% of the time. That's just June, you know, it's E3 time. That's the time of year that showcases happen. So I'm a bit wary of people saying that they know for sure that one is happening, because it also seems like, you know, well, anyone could guess that. And it, you know, probably will happen, because that's what makes it so easy to guess. Jason Ewan, I need Alvo zombies. Did you see the new Alvo map that they teased yesterday or the day before? I think it's called Resort or Retreat. I can't remember which one, but it looks quite nice. I'll have to get back into Alvo and, you know, every other VR game. And Rogue is over here saying, fine, I'll consider it. Rogue, we're going to force you to do more than consider it. It's not optional. Yeah. And then there's the whole thing, this is kind of somewhat related to PSVR, that there was kind of a mistake that they made with regards to this new subscription service that they're going to do in the PS Plus overhaul, whereas people who had stacked up for years anticipating that they can translate it over to the new one, there was some glitch. Well, apparently it was a glitch where they were charging whatever savings you would have made, so they're kind of basically not letting people get away with that. And there was kind of uproar about that for like 24 hours, and they're like, no, that was a mistake, and don't worry about it. So that's something to consider if you've been stacking. I don't know how many of you are interested in this. I've seen Dino Crisis has been revealed, because it's already out in Hong Kong and places like that. So I'm actually really excited about Dino Crisis. I don't know if anyone played that on PS1. That shit was tight. Oh, you're talking about having a like. I see. Thank you, Rogue. It's just that delay to get to Australia. I thought you were talking about, you know, something relevant, you know. But as usual, you're too busy tied up in them spiderwebs. Did I see VR Demon's comment? No, VR Demon's comment hasn't showed up on my thing over here, but it's over here. I don't know why that is, VR Demon. Hold on, if I can change it to live chat, will that fix it? There we go. For some reason you don't show up in top chat, just live chat, Demon. Anyway, how you doing? I think Sony will VR... Oh, that's why. That's why you didn't show up in the top chat. VR jizz on everyone in September. So you think that's when the showcase will be? In September. See, I'm trying to keep everything in relation to how they did this with the PS5. So the PS5 came out in November of 2020, and they had a showcase for it in... There was two of them before it came out. One in June, one in September, I want to say. So I think the June one, they just showed games and they teased the console, like the menu was teased briefly. And then in September, that's when they actually revealed, maybe it was September, maybe it was October, where they actually revealed the console itself. But it took like a long time for them to reveal how it actually looked. But then look at PSVR, and we already know what it looks like. They told us about the controllers like over a year ago. So I mean, it's so hard to predict based on their past actions. Never relevant. Pfft. Get eaten by a spider, Rogue. Alright? Mr. Wolf Craze is over here. How you doing, Wolf Craze? Wolfie Craze, perhaps. As he's known on the streets. The mean streets. Anyway, lads, I'm waffling here. I don't think I missed any comments. But when this gets archived, comment away in the comment section and I'll reply to you there. You can follow me over in the Twitters or whatever. One of these things scrolling underneath is my Twitter handle if you want to follow me there, and we can talk about it there. And with that, I'll end this video. Thank you very much for watching. Please consider staying moist, and I'll figure out how to end the stream.
What the fuck is this?